Okay, so Trump just signed another executive order, and this one moved CBD from a Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. That's not actually what's happening, though. So let's get into the nuance of this and figure out actually what's happening here, because we have another pipeline. And by this point, I think we're all really familiar with this fucking theme. So we're going to legalize, we're going to financialize, we're going to monopolize, and we have another pipeline. Just like we did for the telecom industry, the pharma, which is just an ongoing bullshit thing, the agriculture pipeline, the banking pipeline, alcohol pipeline, real estate pipeline. I mean, what's not monopolized in the United States at this point? Is it even considered capitalism anymore? I question this. So let's get into the nuance. Okay, so clarification. And this is where the confusion starts. If CBD is extracted from marijuana, like cannabis, with less than 0.3% THC, then historically it was treated as part of marijuana, which was a Schedule 1. So the source matters, not just the molecule, okay? What Trump's action actually targets, it initiates the process to move marijuana as a substance from Schedule 1 to a Schedule 3. That means that cannabis with less than 0.3% THC, including all naturally occurring cannabinoids within marijuana, THC, CBD, CBG, etc., when derived from marijuana. So this is about marijuana's federal classification, not hemp. Not retail CBD products already legal under the Farm Bill. So it has nothing to do with the Farm Bill. So here's our little pipeline in action. For marijuana-derived CBD Schedule 3, acknowledges medical use. It eases research barriers. It improves pharma and institutional access. It's still not federally legal for recreational use, of course, because there's no money in that. And then it's still heavily regulated. Can't just grow out in your backyard. So the deeper implications, it strengthens pharmaceutical control over cannabinoids. It pushes cannabis towards a drug-first framework. It benefits pharma, institutional investors, FDA-regulated pathways. It does not clean up the CBD market. It does not protect small producers. It does not resolve FDA limbo for supplements. It does not stop states from cracking down selectively. I think something else that the majority of us that are paying attention to what's actually going on probably have already come to understand, but I think we need to solidify this in our minds a little bit more. Any executive order that comes across that desk is the top down. It is not the bottom up, it's not grassroots, and it's not about the people pushing, because that comes from Congress, except our Congress is bought and paid for on both sides. But theoretically, in the past, it used to do a better job of checking our capitalist society, because if it's not checked, it runs amok. And so now we have these executive orders, and this is exactly where it runs amok, because top-down action is big business down. It's not all of us up, it's big business down. It's the investors. Yeah, so executive orders equal corporate, right? Not the people. So it's this executive order is a relief valve for investors, a green light for banks, a bridge for institutional capital, a signal for corporate America. This is not grassroots legislation. It's not anti-monopoly reform. It is not social justice repair, and it is not small business friendly by default. Clearly, this is not. So what this is designed to do, and here's our pipeline. So rescheduling to a Schedule 3 helps banking and big corporate players, and it quietly accelerates consolidation. So this is the theme. This is the 2025, Project 2025 theme, is further consolidation. So what this does for banking. Schedule 3 removes the biggest federal tax chokehold, the IRS 280E, because under a Schedule 1 or Schedule 2, cannabis businesses cannot deduct normal business expenses. That means effective tax rate is 60 to 80%. So they're getting a tax cut. This is going to give them a tax cut. Yeah, cash only operations. So now they can do cards. You can buy on credit now. Chronic insolvency risk. A Schedule 3 280E no longer applies. Businesses can deduct payroll, rent, marketing, equipment. This alone dramatically improves cash flow, which is what banks like. Banks love cash flow. So banks like predictable cash flow. So yes, Schedule 3 makes cannabis businesses more bankable. It lowers risk profiles. It encourages lending and institutional finance. It does not become, so this does not mean that cannabis has become federally legal. Banks still face compliance, complexity, DEA and FDA overlap, interstate commerce restrictions. So small community banks may enter cautiously, and big banks wait for clarity and scale. The businesses are already there. So, and that's why the institutions, the research institutions that are backed by our tax dollars, pharmaceuticals, the taxpayers pay for the research, and then the private institutions, big pharma, gets to take our taxpayer research and sell that shit back to us at premium. Yeah. So let's talk about, so who benefits the most from this? It's not the mom and pop dispensaries. Okay. I needed to, that's okay. We're just going to go with it. No, fuck. Sorry about that. I'm still getting used to this stuff, guys. Okay, so who benefits most from Schedule 3? Not mom and pops, not mom and pop dispensaries. This benefits entities that already have legal teams, compliance departments, capital reserves, lobbying power, existing pharmaceutical or CPG infrastructure. That means multi-state operations, pharma-adjacent firms, private equity, I'm so sick of these guys, large agribusiness interest, alcohol and tobacco conglomerates, because they're in everything, and they're all waiting on the sidelines. And we talk about consolidation. So compliance costs, they don't go away, they only get worse, because even though they say they're about deregulating, they're about deregulating big business. Remember, executive orders come from the top down. They don't give a shit about the consumer or small or medium businesses. This is end capitalism unchecked. Fun times. So why Schedule 3 favors consolidations? Schedule 3 increases FDA involvement, manufacturing standards, documentation, labeling rules, clinical validation pressures. Large firms can absorb this, small operations usually can't. So merger acquisitions increase. Big firms, once banking opens up, big firms get loans, credit, expansion capital. Small firms still struggle, lower margins, higher regulatory burden, and price pressure. Buyouts, roll-ups, and closures.